A little cilantro, little grilled onions.
Chef kiss.
YouTube, we're back. Hitting a little gym tonight. They call it gymming. That's what people call it nowadays. It is time for a little shoulders. I'm heading into Kilo Club. I'm gonna take you guys along with me. All right, guys, we're at a favorite shoulder press machine right here. This is our Atlantis. I guess they call this the farmer's press, right? So if you watch a lot of my old videos when I did overhead presses, you know, we can do dumbbells, we can do machines, but if you watched, I was standing in a rack doing a lot of barbell presses. And what I loved about that is I love the core work. I know people are scared, like, oh, it makes you thicker, especially in the midsection. But for me, I really felt like it put a lot of tension on my rear delts, on my rhomboids, on my traps. But you know, it really put a lot of strain on my shoulders. Remember, you got to balance. So it's not like you get your back against the pad and you're using your legs, you know, as kind of that push. You know, you see so many people like pushing against that pad to really get that force with the shoulders. You're bringing in the whole body, but you can't cheat on this movement. I mean, you can do a little bounce, but for me, it was always that tension that I had on the shoulders. I mean, I'm not doing the crazy weight I used to do. So it's 2 plates and a quarter on this. And I'm gonna try to go for at least 8 reps here. Okay, actually maybe 10. 2. $11. 12 reps, you know my game. But seriously, I really like this movement a lot. I try to use this machine. You know, I don't really get into much of the barbells as much anymore. If I do, I'm not pressing as much, but man, I was working up to like 275 on this movement. This is my first starting movement. Normally I started with a pre-exhaust movement with dumbbells, which I'll do next. So I'll do side laterals with dumbbells next, and I'll showcase that. But you know, remember this movement, you know, good foot position, good body control, and pressing the weight up. I don't come out to locking position. I know a lot of you question how much you see my range of motion. I really feel the muscles getting that work without doing that full lockout at the top, okay? 45, 60 seconds between each set, and then we go right into it, okay? Okay. And that's the name of the game. So we all have our style. This is not to say that this is the exact form you're supposed to use, but I just like to show what's real, okay? How I train. If you look at all my videos, you see the consistency. I had this article in Muscle and Fitness when I was 22, and it said Sloppy Jay's shoulder workout. I talked about how my form was loose, and I never sat there and tried to say I was the smartest guy, or, I mean, it was all trial and error, and you guys know how that is. We've seen people train with perfect form and not get the best results, right? Shoulder's still one of my favorite days, even though I feel like I lost a lot of shoulder size. I don't have that full pop to the shoulders. I think when you downside the food, obviously, you know, the supplements, all that stuff kind of changes everything, right? It's funny, this guy just asked me, is that the trick for the tripod? Because I have it sitting on a bar right now. Check this out. This is my tripod, guys. I'm one of those guys in the gym right now. That's my tripod. So I'm gonna do 40 pounds. Gotta start rolling with it. I'm not gonna film too much because I don't want to get in people's way. I'm gonna do these standing today. My shoulders feel a lot of blood. I've got like 4 meals in me today, so that's why I always say, if you can train after 3 or 4 meals, your pumps are gonna be that much better. I don't even know how many reps that was. But the movement's kind of like a front and side lateral at the same time. A little swing to the body, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna kind of roll through these. I'm gonna do 1 more set of 40s, and then I'm probably gonna work my way up. Probably do 45. So I'm being conscious of like who's behind me right now. In the gym I train at, like I said, is pretty quiet. I'm really just trying to feel that side delt right now. Actually, I'm gonna stay with this weight. By the way, these are the new 4 Crown shirts available on the Jay Cutler shop. So make sure you guys check it out. Use my code Cutler. You'll save 20% on that site too, guys. This fit on these shirts is perfect. This is a 2XL. Yeah, still bursting out of the 2XLs. All right, so we're gonna move over to the third movement. This is gonna be our front raise on the incline bench. So I'm gonna do something different. You guys see me do a bunch of barbells. I'm actually gonna do dumbbells today. I'm gonna use 40s again. Maybe I'm gonna do 45. I'm gonna try 40. All right, so chest up there. Good. I'm getting a good burn on this. Really just trying to come parallel to the floor. It's a little different with the dumbbells. I feel my range of motion is actually a little more. So when I come up, it's kind of like parallel. So I'm gonna do 3 sets of these, focus on 12 reps. So I'm working the overall delt with the presses. You know, we did the side laterals from other side. This is gonna be the front raise, and then we'll move over to some back stuff. I mean, rear delts. Some of the bottom of my chest is at the top of the pad. Starting position here. Up. 2, 3. Little hold right there. Little hold. Oh, that was tough. So normally I use a 70-pound dumbbell, so realistically, this is like 80 pounds. So I was getting pretty burnt out in that last set. I love these. If you guys haven't tried these before on the incline bench, man, they really work. Remember, it's all about that contraction and feeling the movement. So I'm gonna rest a little more, do one more set. The rear fly. So we're gonna focus on the rear delt. I keep bragging about this movement. Sorry about this light in the background, guys. I keep bragging about this movement, how good it is. Let's see, I'm gonna try a weight here. This is hard because this is in kilograms. Let me see what this feels like. It's a little heavy, so I'm gonna do 27.5. Nice step back. Hopefully you guys can see this. Cross the arms. Okay, get a good little, I'm gonna lower a little bit just because this one's a little higher, so. Okay. That weight feels different, I don't understand, but. You can see this movement, crossing, pulling with the rear, really isolate. I felt really heavy, but almost like those are off a little bit. We always talk about the side movements. Like people talk about their delts. What you don't realize is when you stand to the front, yeah, the sides, you know, your development's there, but you don't realize that rear. So I'm gonna accentuate, like if those rear delts are popping, it's gonna give you that much more width. And I always had the crazy, crazy rear delts. And a lot of that I would attribute to this cable motion. Remember, you're always gonna have that constant tension with the cables. That's one thing, you don't lose it. Like with dumbbells, barbells, you know, you have that range of motion where you kind of lose yourself in that rep a little bit. Where I feel with cables, you get that constant tension, okay? And that's ideal for getting that feel. Okay, so maybe you can see this one a little better. So I'm gonna do this movement 3 sets, and then I'll probably do a Pec Deck movement. So I always like to do at least 2 rear movements for the rear delts. I felt like I've lost the most, like in my back, like I said, my delt, the mass, you know, when I'm hitting those poses, I can really see because I lost that pop of the shoulder. So what I'm really gonna focus on is trying to really isolate those. And listen, you're getting a lot of these from your back movements. You know, whether you're doing barbell rows, seated cable rows, you're doing pull downs, pull ups, you're gonna get a lot of that rear delt involvement with the movement. So I'm out of breath. Try to keep the intensity up. that last rep, I wasn't able to do without cheating. I was completely fried. Now I'm gonna leave this raw. All right, so this movement, pretty simple, right? Let's make sure the seat's not too high. I love this Atlantis piece, okay? Chest against the pad. It's about 135. Right, I want to show you guys the handles on this because this is a little different. So you see these handles? I love this, how they have this bend here. I'm kind of holding this right here. Okay, 135. Great finishing movement. Not to say it can't be your first. I think a lot of times I'll actually do this. I'll do this probably last. There's a couple different variations of this in here. So I'm gonna stick to the same weight. Remember, I'm coming back to here, really just keeping that constant tension. You'll see me pause in a couple reps just because I'm locking myself back in, engaging the muscle. I'm not afraid to do that. I'm fatiguing pretty fast. I'll take a little more rest the next set, but man, I actually feel a really good pump today. So no traps. I stopped doing traps some time ago just because I don't want to put the pressure on my spine. I know that sounds old manish, but I don't think I really need to have that big of traps. I think I still got some pretty decent traps. I did abs yesterday, so no abs today. So I'll just do 20 minutes on the bike and I'll probably circle back, wrap up this video, and once again, show you guys what it's like after a long Monday here in the world of Jay Cutler. This little wrap up here. I just finished 20 minutes of cardio and I'm going to get some good food in. So great workout needed after a crazy Monday. I wanted to hone in on one thing, okay? I ate 4 meals before I came to the gym. So the millions of questions out there that we get, I'm taking aminos by the way after training. When do you take your supplements, right? 4 meals versus training after 1 meal. Now, I prefer to train after my first meal. When I did my double split training, I trained after meal 1 and after meal 4. But I'll tell you, the progress or the performance in the gym after 4 meals is crazy compared to 1 meal. So ideally, as you've seen the transition of what I've been doing, I'm training later in the day. Most of the time you see Instagram or my Snapchat or TikToks or whatever, I'm training mostly at night. Now I come to the ideal atmosphere to train for me, which is a quiet place. As you see, I was able to film today without really people in the background, which I'm very conscious of, by the way. So I know a lot of people complain about, hey, filming in the gym and, taking privacy away. I try to be very honorable towards, respecting the other members. But at the same time, my whole approach right now is not to film to impress necessarily. It's more for educational purposes. So I know a lot of different demographics are following this, whether it's, the younger kids, the middle-aged, or, the older people that are just trying to work around, what their abilities are. Some people it's injuries. Some people are newbies to the gym. Some people are just, trying to get back into it. I have a lot of people now that followed me from the very beginning that, got married, had kids, fell out of training, followed it in the magazines, and then like, wow, Jay Cutler is still active on social media or YouTube, which is now the transition of magazines and books. So once again, I try to put out this content. I skipped last week just because it was Olympia. I want to talk a little bit about, the Olympia other than, we have a podcast that does it. And, I talked a little bit about on my nutrition channel. But listen, Samson won. Samson was the best guy that day. Derek Lunsford was not at his best. Hottie was not at his best. It all comes down to that day. Shows are judged according to how you look on that stage. Samson looked tremendous. He's been knocking at the door. This is no slouch. He's been third the last couple years. Unfortunately, when guys lose, Derek fell to third, Hottie fell to second. He wasn't able to win the title back, which has still not been done since 2009. And that's disheartening sometimes to see that, because I have to root for everybody, just like I have to root for You know, Martin Fitzwater's first Olympia. Man, the kid got 4th. Can you imagine? I was second to last at my first. Ronnie was last. You know, Phil Heath got 3rd, and I talk about, look at his track record. I mean, he went from 3rd to, you know, he fell to 5th, but then he was like second, you know, second, then he won, right? So, you know, it's crazy that someone can come into Olympia for the first time, not be a super huge guy. I mean, Martin's got a lot more shape. He's not like a ton of weight, you know, like a Samson or Andrew Jack. Andrew Jack finished 5th. He's great. Hunter Labrada, man, you know, he looked, you know, I guess a little sharper at prejudging Friday night. Saturday he came back. Maybe, you know, other guys improved, but I think, you know, he has the ability. I know he really wanted to get in that top 5 if he finished 6th, right? Endless potential on these guys. What a top 6 they had at this year's Olympia, man. So proud of these guys. And listen, a lot of them rolling right to the Arnold. The Arnold is giving away $500,000 for first place. For you guys that don't recall, I won 100 when I was winning my 3 Arnold Classics and an H2 Hummer those 3 years, which I thought was a great prize of watches, whatever else. So let's just call it 200,000. It's 500 grand up for grabs. 500 grams is life-changing. 500 grand in one paycheck. You can do so much with that, even with the way the world is today and inflation and everything else. That check, man, can change people's lives. And you know, these guys have worked really hard for it. I'm so happy to see the transition of bodybuilding and what it's actually become now. And you know, we have Pittsburgh paying 100 next year for that first prize, and you know, the Olympia, they bumped it right up to 600 on stage. So I applaud all this. You know, I don't look back and say, man, I wish I could have, because listen, I had a wildly successful career. You know, I was second so many times, first, winning Arnold's, a ton of other shows, endorsement deals, you know, my merch sales, and you know, I still to this day, man, like, I just can't believe that I have the ability to still touch that many people around the world. And you know, I chased the monetary thing for so long to establish myself, and you know, I wanted to retire at 40, and that's basically what I did. And you know, I don't even really talk about a lot of the stuff that I have going on outside of fitness, and you know, I try to keep it. You know, everyone's interested in the gym stuff, and you know, sometimes I showcase a little of the outside things, but you know, I want to show the fitness lifestyle and how I continue to live it. It's still the best part of my day is working out. I come in here on a mission. I come in here to get the best pump possible, and you know, to get out and feed my body, and just, you know, give you guys a little insight of that. And if you can take a small piece of that, if you can take a small piece of what I put out there, man, that's all I ask for, and that's all I expect, you know, because I know a lot of people aren't striving to be, you know, up on a bodybuilding stage necessarily, but maybe a lot of you guys are that follow the channel. And you know, if you guys, you know, just comment what type of people are you that follow this, so I can kind of get an idea, you know. And you know, I'm putting out these shorts and these reels, and you know, the TikTok stuff. A lot of you may not even have TikTok, but YouTube, man, YouTube, I still try to educate. So check out the short section of my channel. You guys can see little shorter tips. You don't have to watch the long form for you guys skipping through. Hopefully you listen to this part and just understand I appreciate you guys more than anything. I'm going to eat another meal or two. I go for a CT scan tomorrow, which is, you know, going to give me a little insight on, you know, a very safe way to see what my body is, how it's aging, let's put it that way. And, you know, once again, man, we're doing this, and I appreciate you guys so much. You continue to give me so much motivation. I'll keep putting out the content as long as I'm able to do so. I plan to vlog my Massachusetts trip here in another week. I get to go see my mom out in Massachusetts. I get to see, you know, my stepfather, who isn't feeling well right now, and, you know, my brothers, sisters, you know, all the great people at Boston. I have the, you know, the New England bodybuilding show out there, so I get to train at Gym Hub, see Nate and the guys over there. So once again, you know, I appreciate you guys. Keep following along. Make sure you guys comment below. Please like and share the video. If you guys have certain sections, send it to your friends or people that might need a little pick-me-up right now. I'm here for you. So I'll answer questions when I can on this YouTube, let it build up a little bit. But thank you guys so much. And once again, we're out for another YouTube here. Kilo Club, Las Vegas. Shoulder training, take a little bit of it, and you know, follow those 12 repetitions.
No mercy for you, no worries for you. They that Game of Thrones. Go Cersei on you. I flipped the script. I roll the dice. Don't fall asleep, cause I'm working nights. Hey,